pocket, so determined, discreet, I pray. Oh, once upon a time I could control myself. Woo, once upon a time I could lose myself. Yeah, oh.
I got my hands closed, but I've been looking at you the whole fucking time. Once upon a time I could control myself, yeah. Once upon a time I could lose myself, yeah. Once upon a time I could love myself, yeah. Once upon a time I could love you, yeah, yeah. Once, yeah, once, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Woo! My friends, holy Jesus. Woo! What are we doing? What is happening right now? I mean, what in the actual fucking fuck? Listen, I'm in a silly mood, okay? Listen, when I fly, I have a few drinks. It's possible, just possible, that I'm dealing with a little clubber withdrawal right now because like I wanted to come home. Clubber's not here because I have him in a boarding place, and I missed my first flight, and I was cutting it close in the first place, and then I caught the next flight, and which was actually pretty quickly after the flight that I missed, but I missed the first flight, and it's whatever, but I did pack Clubber an extra meal, just in case, because I have missed my flights before. So, but Clubber's still in the pet spa that I leave him in when I go, and I miss him very much. And so I'm not gonna lie, you guys are kind of a distraction from the fact that I don't get to like just cuddle in bed with my little dude, man. I miss him so much. Yes, I know, free Clubber, right? Oh, you guys are the best, man. Seriously, it's great to see you guys. I have a lot to talk about, okay? And I'm gonna hang out with you guys. I'm committed, committed. Hanging out with you guys until Aiden stream starts at 9. And yeah, man, I met this dude, Jay Shockblast, dude. Really fucking nice guy, man. Nice to see you in here, buddy. Yeah, cool dude. Really cool dude. So antics. Okay, antics. They happen from time to time, but that doesn't mean that they're criminal. Okay. Now, I know the thumbnail was well, it wasn't misleading until now, because now I'm letting you know why it was misleading, because I'm not going to talk about what happened that night. I'm not going to talk about it. The evidence is out there. I was there. Yes. Joe Flipahead says the Glera did it. The Glera fucking did it. All right. But the thing is about Joe Flipahead. Joe Flipahead is just an old man with a fucked up face. All right. If you want to see me, you got a problem with that? All right. Come see me. Come by my house. I live in D&E Pizza. Come by anytime. I don't live there. I'm just kidding. Listen, I will say this, though. I will say this, even though I'm not going to talk about what happened that night. I'm not going to do it. Okay. I will say this. Fuck the Alberts. Fuck you. Oh, I say that like with everything I fucking got. Fuck the Alberts. Fuck you, Chris Albert. Fuck especially Colin Albert. Fuck you. Seriously. I mean, could there be a bigger family full of a bunch of bigger fucking cunts? Seriously. Seriously. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, y'all can't smile and just laugh. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you guys can't just see two fucking idiots being idiots and just laugh. You know? But I'm going to leave it at that. That's all I'm going to talk about. I realize that the thumbnail's a bit clickbaity. Whatever. Y'all can unsubscribe. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm so tempted to say more. And what kind of a crazy world? What kind of a crazy world do we live in where the best thing that I could say in this whole situation is fuck the Alberts in Canton, Massachusetts. Fuck you. Seriously. Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck is wrong with you people? But anyway, I'll leave that at that. What we're going to do today, people, my friends, what we are going to do today. Now, I don't know what Aiden's going to say tonight. Aiden's going to be live at 9. I don't know what he's going to say, but I'm not saying shit until, but put it this way. There's a lot I want to say. There's a lot I want to say. And I'm actually no, I'll leave it at that. Anyway, so I had an incredible week. Many of you who are in the chat right now, I got to meet in person. I've got to see in person for the second, maybe third, maybe fourth, maybe even fifth time. I think you guys are amazing. The hospitality that you guys showed me going there is something that I will never, ever, 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 ever forget. From everyone from the Reed family to the small kids that were there that were like, yo, you guys are fantastic. It was the energy outside of that courthouse on Tuesday and Wednesday was the dopest fucking energy that I ever saw. Like everyone was of the same mindset and everybody was cool and everybody was just happy because everybody was very confident that Karen Reed is going to be exonerated of these charges eventually. Whether Bev fucking eats it or a jury has to fucking drain all of you of your local taxpayer money, but one way or the other, Karen Reed's walking out of that courtroom a free woman at some point, period. Turtle Boy's walking out of his courtroom at some point a free man. That's gonna happen. And hold on. Let me see what Joe Flipper is saying, dude. Picture this: Sopranos. Tony the Glera is a therapist. Is at therapy with Melfi. Okay, Melfi asks the Glera, so what really bothers you about Chris Albert? The Glera, he's a fag. Now, that's just me. If I'm Tony Soprano, I'm obviously not Tony Soprano. But if I were Tony Soprano, is what Joe Flipperhead is saying, is that if I were at therapy with the character that Lorraine Bracco plays on The Sopranos, I would say that Chris Albert is a fag. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. I'm a satirist. That's all. I'm just a satirist. Okay? That's what I do. Okay? I fuck around and you find out. That's how this works. I fuck around, you find out. That's the nature of our dynamic. Okay? Wow. So listen, we've got a bunch of shit to go over. Now, as I explained to you guys And this is gonna be fun because I've got like a half buzz going on, and I'm drinking an energy drink right now. This is gonna be interesting. But we're gonna watch. Listen, we're gonna watch. The well, I think we'll go over the first hearing. I don't know how much patience I'll have for it, but I was sitting. Well, Tuesday's hearing. Anyway, we're gonna watch Turtle Boy's hearing. I'm gonna try to fit all of the shit in here. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but oh wait, hold on. Let me do something here. Um uh 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 hold on. I I can't say that sentence without stuttering. Caitlin Buot? Caitlin Buot? I'm sorry that I say and too much on my channel. I'm sorry. I, now you never have to worry about it again. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over Karen Reed's hearing on Tuesday. I now here's the thing about that. I explained this in the last time I went live. I was in the courtroom for well, no, we're gonna go over Wednesday's hearing. Sorry, Wednesday's hearing. I was in the courtroom for the first part of it before lunch broke. Lunch broke, and then we went to lunch, and then we came back, but Turtle Boy's hearing was starting at the very same time that lunch was over for Karen Reed's case. But I specifically traveled to Norfolk County to support both Karen and Turtle Boy because I knew they both had hearings, and they were both arguing. Both of their teams were arguing motions to dismiss, and I wanted to be there to support them. And I had an opportunity to do so, and I definitely applied that opportunity as best as I could, and I got to go there, and I'm really glad that I did, because Tuesday was all about the supporters, because you guys are fucking dope. Fucking dope. It was like the best fucking time I ever had, was just hanging out on Tuesday with you guys. Even though there were times where, like, listen, I owe them a little bit of an explanation. I have to be totally honest with them. Because you guys know, I you know, and I'm not trying to make an excuse. There's no excuse for it. It's just that I'm just saying it happens sometimes where I have this method to manage my anxiety, and in the process of managing that anxiety, I may get short with people, and I got a little short with people, and I apologize to anybody who I seemed short with, anyone, if I did. Maybe and sometimes I think that I was too short when I wasn't, and I'm overthinking it. I do that too. But I don't want, if I came off short to anyone, just in case, it's really important that you know that I am blown away by the inspiration that you guys have provided in my life. You know, you guys being out there, and you know, it's funny. I was blessed, and this is not, that word is not to be underappreciated. It's not just fortunate. I wasn't just fortunate. I was blessed to be able to sit down and have a meal of food with Mark Betterow and Nan Gallagher, and listen to the two of them bounce off each other. Now, I was in that conversation too, but I feel like there were times where I should have like just shut the fuck up and just listen. You know what I mean? Like because they're lawyers and I'm just a fucking asshole. But it was great. It was great to like be there. Like it was great to like listen to them talk. And at one point, me and Betero were having an exchange, and it's like we both said it at the same time, where we were talking about how is it that you guys do this every day, like, or well, not every day, but every day when there's a trial. But for the last at least 2 years, you guys have been out there and holding your signs and standing in the cold, standing in the heat, whatever, relentlessly. And I'm telling you, I know this from intimate conversations with the very people that you would want to know this would come from. And it is truly appreciated. It is truly, they are so grateful. I don't like, sorry, give me a second. I actually want to cry a little bit. Like when I think about the look in, I don't want to name names, but when I think about the look in several of the people directly in Karen Reed's camp, and when they explain how they feel about you guys, they talk about you like you are heroes. They talk about you like you are fictional heroes that children would dress up as in Halloween. That's the look of their eyes when they talk about you guys. And it's, to get to see that shit is dope as fuck. So please, guys, don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. No matter how things go. And let me tell you, like, talking to these folks, at no point did any of them seem worried. This is actually very, very true. 100% true. 100% true. Like, not even exaggeration. I'm not embellishing it for comedic. It's 150% true that these people are not worried. They have not discussed with me details of their strategy in any way, shape, or form, but they are not worried. The very people that talked about you guys like you were fucking Thundercats to an 8-year-old back in 1984. You guys, like, they're not worried. Those same people are not worried, is my point. And they are so grateful for everything that you guys are doing. That's really important to remember. This, what I'm doing right now, means jack shit if you guys don't get that, yeah, Thundercats. Oh, now, no, I'm not going to catch a charge. I'm not going to catch. What am I going to catch a charge for? By saying, fuck The Alberts. Am I going to catch a charge for that? Would I catch a charge for saying, fuck the Alberts? Is that illegal? In what fucking realm is that illegal? In what reality is saying, fuck the Alberts illegal? In what realm is saying, I think certain members of the Albert family are cop killers? In what realm is that illegal? Charge me. Because I got 1,771 witnesses right now that can attest that I am not committing a crime. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to go over, because like I said, I went into Turtle Boy's hearing at 2 and missed the second part of Jerry Reese. And even though I went to dinner with Bettero and Nan Gallagher last night, Nan was in the courtroom for Karen's hearing, and I went to Turtle Boy's hearing, and obviously Bettero was in Turtle Boy's hearing as well. And then and Turtle Boy's hearing was the shit. I'll tell you this right now. That judge is just fantastic. That judge was a breath of fresh air, because he seemed to just be the kind of guy who really like lives up to the oath he took to be simply in service of the truth, in service of justice. That's how I see that judge. Now, I'm going to go over Turtle Boy's hearing yesterday first, because it's pretty short. And I'm in a mood. Hold on. Okay, apparently Turtle Boy got the full thing here, so I'm gonna go ahead and play that. But I'm gonna speed it up because we got a lot to go over tonight, guys.
Hummel versus Aiden Kearney, 23 CR 313, 24 CR 43. Mr. Kearney is present and represented by Attorney Timothy Brady.
Now, at this point, I was not in the courtroom yet. Dan and I were we were rushing to get there back in time from lunch, and Nan had every intention of being in there, but the bailiff stops. Like, it was really funny, actually, because I'm not used to shit, you know. And the bailiff actually stopped us, you know, and like put his arm to stop us. And I was like, kind of like subconsciously just kind of like, fuck this guy in his arm, and started. And Nan was like, don't push through that. Don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. You can't push through that. Because I'm not used to people sticking their arm in front of me to try to stop me from moving. You know what I mean? It kind of fucked me up. It was like it wasn't there, is more the way to explain it. It was like it wasn't there. But I realized the man had a job to do, and it was just a question of the fact that this man had a job to do, and he was dedicated to his job, and that's fucking dope. But I'm the guy that doesn't know anything about his fucking job because I'm not experienced in that department whatsoever. I'm not experienced as even being in the receiving end of that department. I have no fucking idea. I barely ever go to fucking court cases until this. I don't go to court until this case. You know what I mean? So I was just super ignorant and stupid. And yes, I had eaten quite a bit of gummies. But I just didn't realize the guy's arm was there, and I just fucking was like, and I was like, and it's fucked up because that guy was like, I have more respect for that guy than all the bailiffs too. And so I mean, later on, it was just like, hey, have a great day, and you know, thanks for everything, and blah blah blah, you know, that kind of shit as you're walking out. But yeah, I and then he was like, there's no more room. You gotta wait. If a seat opens up, you can come in. So I was like, all right. Nan was like, all right. And then he said one seat opened up. And then Nan was like insistent, like, you take it, you take it, you take it. And this was already happening. So clearly I didn't have time to argue because I wanted to get in here, you know, or I wanted her to go in there. If she had just walked in, I would have been like, I don't care. Cool. I'll head over across the way. It's fine. But Nan was like, you go, you go, you go. And I was like, I don't want to argue, so I'm going. So I did. And then I sat down, and this happens.
Is Mark Federer. The Commonwealth is represented by Special Assistant District Attorney Robert Cosgrove. The matter is on for hearing on the defense motions to dismiss. If the parties could please identify themselves for the record.
Morning, Your Honor. Robert Cosgrove for the Commonwealth. And I guess it's a late morning. I should have said good afternoon.
Hello, Your Honor. Timothy Bradle on behalf of Aiden Carney. He's here in my and Mark Federer from Mr. Carney.
Yes, Mr. Good afternoon. Okay, so I got the motion and I got the response. Why don't I do this? I've got some questions, and then I'll throw out at the beginning, maybe both sides can answer. I'm going to start with the defense and then I'll go to Mr. Cosgrove.
So this dude automatically takes charge of the whole fucking situation, which is exactly what a judge is supposed to do. But he does it with a method. This is what I noticed. He does it with a fucking method. And his method is have a plan. He earns the court officers, every court officer there, prosecutor, the defense attorneys, the defendant. He earns everybody's respect by sitting down and saying, hey, listen, I've read this and I've read that. Here's my plan. This is how we're going to go over this. Everybody's down because this is exactly what Aiden's been asking for this entire time. This is exactly what Karen Reed has been asking for this entire time and hasn't gotten it.
So, Mr. Cannon certainly a journalist. He's a satirist. Mr. Bradle, reads the line. How far can he go to satirize things? And when does it become a crime? I asked that to Mr. Cosgrove as well to address. How does the conspiracy count with a 14, 15?
I'm sorry for the audio. That's beyond my control. There's nothing I can do about it. It's hard to understand him. And I think I'm going to play this at regular speed just so it's because I really love this judge and I don't want to even remotely minimize the way that he the way that he presided over this hearing. It was like it was more than a breath of fresh air. It really was. Hold on one second here. Sir, okay. There we go.
15 and 16. How do they? It's a journalist. He's this. So, Mr. Cannon certainly a journalist. He's a satirist. Mr. Bradle.
Okay. As soon as he said that, I was like, like I don't even really, I don't know how to describe the feeling, because it was a mixture of being in there and not hearing a judge say something like this all this time. Immediately he says, Mr. Carney is clearly a journalist and a satirist. Boom, right there. I was like, holy shit, does this guy actually get Turtle Boy? Does he actually get him? Does he actually understand where the defendant is coming from and actually give a shit whether or not this dude is being fucking railroaded? I was sitting there and I was like, it's amazing. It's amazing. I can't tell you how it was like being in a cold basement and then you walk out into the sunlight, but it's not too hot. You know what I mean? It felt like that, kind of.
With the line, how far can you go to satirize things? And when does it become a crime? I asked that to Mr. Cosgrove as well to address. How does the conspiracy?
And right there, that question is the only question we really want to hear. What's the line? Right? This judge is like, I've read both motions. I'm privy to everything that's going on. I have taken an interest in this case. I have taken an interest. Now I need the prosecution to explain to me why or how, how Aiden Carney, aka Turtle Boy, has crossed the line from being a satirist to a fucking felon. Like, how does that happen? Explain to me how that happens. And it's on the prosecution. And he's making it on the prosecution. And that is simply how the law is supposed to work. That is the refreshing, that's the breeze. When you feel refreshed, the breeze is that this judge puts it on the prosecution to say, how did he cross the line? Show me. Tell me. I'm willing to listen. And the beautiful thing about this is when the defendant is innocent, the defendant is going to go, yes, please, prosecutor, explain to the fucking judge how somehow I abused my First Amendment right to the point to where it was criminal.
Counts, which are 14, 15, and 16, how do they fit into this? How is that intimidation? Are there people that are mentioned in these indictments who are non-witnesses, specifically as to counts 5 and 15? Tell me, Mr. Breda, where you think that the motorcade, how does that fit into this? Where is the intimidation?
And also keep in mind, don't forget that this is a hearing to address the defense's motion to dismiss. So a lot of the burden here in this hearing is on the defense. Turtle Boy's defense has to put up a strong argument here. But you won't be disappointed. I promise you that. If you have not seen this yet, you won't be disappointed. This dude right here. Let me tell you something. I got to talk to this guy a little bit for the first time in person. He knew exactly who I was. It was almost as if we were pen pals, yet we've communicated once and I made it public when it happened. And that was never have I communicated with this man since, right? And this man talked to me like he knew me from like like I've been locked up, and he was just like, "Oh, look, it's you." And it was just the most like really humbling thing in the world, because I just watched this guy argue one of the best arguments I've ever seen a lawyer argue in my life. And I was just like blown away. This dude fucking killed it. Timothy Bradle loves what he does, and he's passionate about defending Turtle Boy. Passionate about it. And we just got to talking simply in small talk about how passionate each of us were about the First Amendment. And I saw expressions from this man that he can't express in a courtroom because it would seem unprofessional. But that's how he feels about the First Amendment. Timothy Bradle loves fighting this fight. Hates that he has to do it, but loves fucking doing it because he knows it's right.
Mr. Cosgrove, you can obviously speak to that, but Mr. Bradle wants to.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know, as usual, Judge, you cut right to the point. I appreciate that. You know, we have about 75 pages between counsel and I.
Okay, Jeff Williams, you're gonna have to shut the fuck up for 10 minutes and sit in the corner, okay? Because you're clearly pissing everybody off in the chat. I need you guys in the chat to move on from this, because you're gonna miss one of the best arguments you've ever heard in your fucking life. And I'm not gonna let Jeff Williams fuck that up for you. So Jeff Williams is gonna sit in the corner for 10 minutes. If he comes back, don't acknowledge him, because he's just trying to piss you off and ruin this for you. So don't let him.
And I'm happy to answer those questions. The first, where do you draw the line thing, Judge?
Yeah, where do you draw the line?
Sure.
So he's a journalist. He's got his blog. He's got the website. I'm sure he gets a lot of activity, and he's covering a case. So he's acting as a journalist. But how far can he go?
Sure.
You know, and I say this to Mr. Cosgrove maybe as well. How about Michael?
And you know, I got to be honest. I love the judge saying this, because I ask this question frequently. Being me and doing what I do, you don't think that I ask myself, and this is me being very candid and very honest with you guys, very, very open. You don't think I ask myself sometimes if I'm hurting myself in some way by supporting Turtle Boy? Sure. But the answer quickly is simple. Quickly is simple. Turtle Boy hasn't done anything that it's not on you to just fucking nut up and get over. It's that simple. Turtle Boy is not responsible for your feelings. I've made this point 100 times. You guys know, a lot of you know who've been following me for a long time. You guys know what the Glare is. It's an acronym. And you know, I had a past, and I was a person that I was not proud of. I took life for granted, and I was very emotionally entitled. I felt sorry for myself a lot, and I hit rock bottom, and I survived it. And I don't like to say survived it. I mean, I guess it's accurate, but it still seems kind of cunty. So so it's like I don't like to say that, but whatever. So I had to come up with a plan because I realized that the reason why I felt this way about myself, and I looked at myself this way, and I looked at life the way that I did, like, oh my God, like, why does God hate me? Blah, 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 blah. That kind of bullshit. You know, deep down, common sense dictated to me that that's not correct. So I just changed the way that I looked at life, and I needed to fucking create kind of a blueprint for that. So I knew I needed to focus on gratitude. I knew and be more grateful. I knew I needed to focus on being more logical and rational and empathetic and all of these things that the glare is. And I'm not perfect. I fuck up a lot, but um doing this, you know, I learned that I I had to come up with a plan to manage my shit. That's all the glarer is. It's a blueprint to managing my shit. You know, I'm very capable of being a fucking whiny twat. I'm very capable of it. We all are. But do you have the fucking sack to fucking figure out a way to make a conscious effort to not be a whiny fucking twat? And when you do this, I promise you, well, unless you're happy being a whiny twat, I can't relate, but I'm happier. I exercise all the time. I found like a method to keep this thing that is depression and anxiety put away. It's like it's this monster that you're born with, you live with, and it's in your brain, and it either just fucking completely takes over your shit, or you can realize what it is and then keep it like a pet. Because sometimes my depression and anxiety benefits me. Sometimes it does. And the reason why I don't take medication for it, as I've explained here before, is if I did, I would be, I wouldn't be vibrant like I am here. I need to be who I am to do what I do. And I won't take medication for it. So I found alternative ways of managing this. But it's basically just a little monster that you just fucking, if you find a way to do it, whatever it takes, you got to know your little monster, and then you got to say, all right, well, you know, this is how I get my little monster to peacefully sit in the corner and not fuck with me too much. Sometimes it's going to growl, sometimes it's going to get shitty, and then you got to find ways to just keep your little monster there, you know? So when I see people like the Alberts doing what they're doing, I'm like, these are cunts with no self-awareness. no no sense of accountability whatsoever. I can't relate, and I can't I don't, you know, I don't feel sorry for them at all, because I know that they're at least lying. And so me working as hard as I do, I just kind of laid out as much as detailed as I could, you know, more or less what I what I do daily to be able to do this. And Turtle Boy, everyone has this. I have to assume that everyone has their way of managing themselves, right? Because I'm not trying to get a fucking award for it. I'm saying I just found a way to manage myself the way everybody seems to already know how to do. You know, you guys do that, right? You guys manage yourselves. Turtle Boy manages himself. But here's the thing. We all have this responsibility. It's on me to manage my own shit, right? So why the fuck is it going to be on me to manage your shit too? With all this work I'm putting into fucking managing my own shit, why do I got to fucking manage yours too? Colin Albert, Chris Albert. Why are you such whiny cunts? Why does Colin Albert make these videos where he wants to be seen as such a tough guy and he doesn't have the fucking sack to just simply at least, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I get that it's very difficult. I think you're still a piece of shit for it, but not coming forward and admitting to your wrongdoings, whatever they may be, that makes you a cunt. But at the very least, when people criticize you for being a cunt for it, take it. That's what any fucking minimal man would do. Seriously. Just deal with it. Like, you're going to get criticized when you're a fucking liar. It's going to happen. And your dad is failing you if he's not explaining this shit to you. If he's not raising you to fucking expect being criticized through life, he's failing you. That's a fact. So why the fuck does Turtle Boy have to be responsible for managing other people's fucking feelings? Is the point of all of this. Somebody explain that shit to me. Somebody explain how the First Amendment somehow dictates that I gotta fucking worry about how the fuck you feel. Fuck how you feel. I don't give a fuck how you feel. I might choose to give a fuck how you feel, but that's my choice to give a fuck how you feel. Assume the default that I don't give a fuck how you feel. Grow up. Grow up. It's that simple.
More or somebody like that, or somebody who's a satirist in some way, I was trying to bring attention to a certain thing. How far does the First Amendment go in their protections? Go right ahead, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Ron. Judge, it is actually a clear line. It's O'Brien v. Borowski. Okay, Judge, I know you're
A clear line.
all over this. O'Brien says that all of these strictures that talk about speech and distress and everything else, it's limited to true threats and fighting words. O'Brien says that. Watts in the Supreme Court says that. This is just well-settled law. It's unquestionable. So it has to be true threats or fighting words when the issue is speech. And that's what we have here, we contend, is this is just Mr. Carney's speech.
How about if he says words to the effect I'm gonna ruin the leg? Is that enough?
No, it's not enough
Okay.
because it's not a specific threat in terms of any criminal behavior.
Bradle is in full control of this courtroom. Watch how he delivers. Not just his words, but watch how he delivers them. When me and Mark Betterow went back to the courtroom for Karen Reed, it was still going on. We didn't want to barge in, so we just waited outside because it was close to it ending, right? So we waited outside, and when they came out, I looked at Alan Jackson. I was like, yo, you look mad. Because I still don't even know what the fuck happened in that second part of the hearing. But I was like, you look mad. He laughed, right? He just laughed. And he was like, were you at Turtle Boy's hearing? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, what happened? Tell me what happened. I was like, Bradle took Cosgrove's skin off of his body and wore it. Jackson was like, yes. This was the fucking dopest week I've ever fucking experienced. Seriously, like watching these passionate. This is the kind of shit that if you are, I would imagine that if you're a young lawyer excited about starting a law career and you're still in law school, this is the kind of environment of people that you want to be around, because every single one of these motherfuckers are so passionate about the cases that they are working. They're doing this because they love this shit. Not because they're pissed. Don't get me wrong. They are pissed, but they love getting the chance to fucking fight a fight that really, really means something here. And I'm sure a lot of their fights do mean something. I'm trying not to minimize that. But when there's all these attorneys collectively pulling their sources, putting their energy together because they know that there's something that fucking reeks in Norfolk County, and they're doing everything they can to fight it, putting forth their individual efforts to do it, but all fighting the same fight. It's inspiring. It's an inspiring environment to be part of. It's something that's like, you can't, I can't describe the electricity of it. I can't.
Behavior, because, and that actually is specifically addressed in O'Brien, and it's Snyder v. Phelps, Judge Snyder v. Phelps. That's the Westboro Baptist Church case where they picketed a dead soldier's funeral. I mean, the most repugnant stuff you can imagine.
What's up, Dina?
It's inflicting emotional distress in public on a matter of public concern is protected. So, and O'Brien specifically talks about that the fear needs to be defined. It's fear of property damage or being a victim of a crime. It's not fear of being sued. It's not fear of being embarrassed.
Now, the overall simple breakdown of Turtle Boy's defense is you have to threaten someone's well-being directly. You have to threaten their physical well-being. You have to say, I'm threatening to hurt you. That he doesn't, the Commonwealth can't prove that he did that because he didn't. All he did was expose things. That's not against the law. That is the definition of freedom of press. That's what the press is designed to do. Inform the public of things that the public deserves to know about people that they are sharing the same fucking air with. That is what the press is designed to be.
It's not Ms. McCabe in Stoughton District Court saying, is there any way you can get him to stop blogging about me, Judge Walsh? That's not the fear we're talking about.
How about calling and phoning pizza orders at a pizza restaurant?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up too. There's no evidence whatsoever, and he did do that. Mr. Carney did not tell people to do anything with respect to that, but more to the point of our motion here today, there's no evidence of that. You know, I don't want to sound sneaky when when I say, oh, there's no evidence of that. He didn't do it, A, and B, there's no evidence of it. And that's what we're here for, is to look at the evidence in the grand jury. There's no evidence whatsoever that he told anybody to inflict economic harm on the guy. Even if he did, which he didn't, how is that a crime? It might be something he could be civilly sued for, but it's not a crime. And But the most important point on that, Judge, is that he didn't do it, and there's no evidence of it. That points up something that we want to address as well, Your Honor, is the idea that
I love that shit. Bradel's like, you could fucking do it, right? But you can't get arrested for it. You can get sued for it. But the most important point to take out of this is that he didn't even fucking do it. He didn't do what they're saying he did. That's the point. So how in the fuck is he getting charged with a crime here? And why the fuck are we here all this time later?
that there's so much imputed derivative liability infecting these grand jury minutes, it's ridiculous. You know, it's as if the Commonwealth just basically forgot about the notion of joint venture and just wanted to attribute every bad thing that has happened to any one of these complainants to Mr. Carney. I'll give you a ton of examples. Proctor says people drove by and spit on my lawn or whatever. That's got nothing to do with Mr. Carney. They have no evidence. He said, hey, let's get into joint venture here for you to drive by and spit on his lawn. It's got nothing to do with Mr. Carney. Another example that should throw out the entire case is McCabe.
And you know, I love Rich Schiffer sitting in the background. I love Rich Schiffer, like kicking it in the background. Like, the dude is just fucking all heart, dude. I like that guy a lot.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Hold on. I'm gonna go over a bunch of shit here real quick because I just want to get through it. I don't want to seem ungrateful at all. Seriously. It's just that I want to get through a lot of stuff in a short period of time. That's all. Allegedly LB, thank you, member for 3 months. Hope to see you next time at a dive bar in Norwood. That could happen. We appreciate you. Flamingo Chicky, member for 2 months. Rose Lee, thank you. The Alberts LOL from Canada. Okay. Anne Marie DeAndrea, thank you for those words. Such a relief to hear. Thank you. Those words were such a relief hearing. Okay. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Donna, thank you. And Beach Life, you've grown so much in the 3 years I followed. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Bex, thank you so much. And Donna, freedom of speech. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. We are all here because of freedom of speech. Make no mistake about that shit.
Jennifer McCabe says, I got an email that someone was going to rape me on my front lawn. That has nothing to do with Mr. Carney. The fact that there are other people, many of whom are in this room supporting the First Amendment and supporting Mr. Carney, that are concerned about this and that speak out, Mr. Carney is not responsible if they cross.
I love that he just did that. Like, look at all of these people right here that are, I mean, and the camera's not showing the other side. This courtroom, make no mistake, was filled with people there to support Turtle Boy. And it's filled with people who are consistently outside of the courthouse whenever there's a Karen Reed hearing, whenever there's a Turtle Boy hearing, no matter what. And Bradel was like, I mean, look at this room. You know what I mean? Look at this. These are not people that are trying these are not even his haters. And that speaks volumes because it's so talked about all the time about how much everybody hates Turtle Boy so much. But okay. But look at the actual image. The image is there's a lot of people that really like Turtle Boy and support him. There's a lot of people. That's the image. That's the evidence. That's the receipt.
Cross some line. It's not his cross to bear, Your Honor. If the government wants to make a joint venture case, let them try, but they certainly haven't here. And that's the most important point, is that all of these derivative liability things, you got to throw those out the window, Your Honor. You can't use them as a basis to uphold an indictment, but also there's no evidence of it. There's no evidence that he did anything wrong. So all those derivative liability things, Judge, I hope that, I know you've looked at everything. When you look at it again, it can't apply to Mr. Carney. It's just not within the law. It's not even, Zanetti, defense lawyers talk about Zanetti all the time, about how broad it's become. It doesn't even come in the galaxy of Zanetti. There's no evidence that Mr. Carney urged anybody to call the pizza man and, order things and not show up. There's no evidence about the Proctor thing. He's got nothing to do with the Jennifer McCabe emails. All these things, Judge, are the government's attempt to just throw enough mud at him so that a judge who's swamped with these things says, there's all these allegations. I know you're not going to do that. And that's why we're here in front of you, is because we have every bit
I know you're not going to do that.
In the way that
you're not that kind of judge. You actually give a shit. So listen, I need you to know that fucking they just want to overwhelm you with a bunch of fucking bullshit and make you go, oh, geez, okay, I got another case on the docket, blah, 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 blah. But this is not that kind of judge. Bradel knows this. Hank Brennan's missing weenus. Okay, all right. Listen, you get a song first.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Okay, so I have to read this correctly again, okay? I didn't read it correctly before. I'm going to read it correctly because it is a rhyme, and that's part of why it's fucking winning handle of the day. For sure. Hank Brennan's missing weenus. You win handle of the day. Fan-fucking-tastic.
that it needs to be looked at, and that you're going to look at it on the right side of the First Amendment, Your Honor. The derivative liability stuff's got to be out the window.
Okay.
Can you refresh my memory on your next question, Your Honor?
I think I had asked a couple of questions, one of which was, where is the line, the conspiracy, which I think you talked about,
Yes.
and then the motorcade, which you talked about as well. How about the one with people who, in counts 5 and 15, who are at least, it's the same person, but are, it's intimidation of a witness. Is that person a witness?
I just don't have it.
This judge is refreshingly empathetic because there are victims named in the case. What's he supposed to do? Right? There's victims named in the case. He wants to know how these people were victimized. He wants to give the victims the benefit of the doubt, but he's also giving the defendant a fair benefit of the doubt as well, which is exactly what a damn good judge would do. I mean, there's no escaping that. NH Dude, thank you so much. Gifted 5 memberships. Oh my.
have it in front of me, Judge, in terms of 5 and 15 is the allegation. Elizabeth Proctor, yes, she's not a witness, but the breadth of the witness intimidation statute, Judge, does cover family members of a witness.
Okay.
So I'm not taking issue with that, but it just goes through every single one of these. It doesn't rise to the level of threats or fighting words, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's just, and the other huge.
It has to rise to the level of threats or fighting words. Saying you're never gonna be fucking comfortable at a restaurant again because I'm going to expose you for what you are. That's not a threat. It is what it is. Like, dude, I have the right to fucking report on you. It is what it is. You don't get to fucking stifle someone's freedom of speech because you have skeletons you want to keep in your closet. It's not how life works. Gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much, Les. Oh my God. Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to. All right.
Issue that the Commonwealth ignores and just wants to look the other way and go after somebody out of their own self-interest, and we'll get to that later. But is this notion that political hyperbole is somehow off the table. So I'm going to rewind a little bit, and that's the Watts case. It goes back to 1969, Your Honor, when a guy who was speaking about the draft, and he said that if they put a rifle in my hands, the first person I'm going to get in my sights is the president, LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. And he was prosecuted under the federal threat statute. And the Supreme Court, they laid it out very clearly. This is called political hyperbole. The context, the distance, the First Amendment aspects of it, it's political hyperbole. It's not really going to happen. It's something that a First Amendment protected speaker says to underline their point, to underscore the force, the rhetorical force of what they're saying. So that principle, Your Honor, is sort of the foundation for a lot of the case law that I cite in the brief, that we cite in the brief, and that, it's
So words to the effect of, I'm gonna destroy someone's life, or I'm not gonna let them lead a comfortable life.
right.
So that's what your argument is, that
Exactly.
even under that case law, which is obviously a little
Control.
bit different, but yeah.
Controlling, Your Honor.
That's,
I think the word you're looking for.
well, that might be your word, but I'm saying that,
It's the Supreme Court, and that's another issue we want to talk about, judges. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts just forges ahead with this ridiculous statute, this witness intimidation statute. If that statute was passed in 1775, every single one of those legislators would have been pulled out of the State House and tarred and feathered on Boston. That statute is ridiculous, Your Honor. It talks about inflicting economic harm, inflicting emotional.
Facts. He just said that statute, that chapter fucking 28, 13A, 13B, that fucking Mello, where the fuck is he anyway? Ken, where the fuck is he anyway, Mello? That's what I'm going to call him from now on. Ken, where the fuck is he anyway, Mello? Decided to weaponize. And that's why we're all here. Like, the bottom line here, let's not forget, because it's been a long time and there's been a lot of hearings and there's been a lot of bullshit and there's been a lot of distractions, but let's not forget why we're here. We're here, right here, because Michael Morrissey saw Aidan Carney as a threat. The McAlberts saw Aidan Carney as a threat. Simple. That's it. It is that simple. Make no mistake about it. Don't sit here and be like, oh, well, it's not It's a little more complicated than that. No, it's not a little more complicated than that, Glare. It's not at all. The Norfolk County DA's office, the Massachusetts State Police, the Canton Police Department, and the McAlberts have been railroading Karen Reed, and Aiden Carney fucking exposed it. Period. That's why we're here. It's not complicated. Aussie Steve, thank you so much, buddy. Will, we are currently in a sort of lockdown week. Cyclone Alfred off the coast. Collective Free Karen Reed channels keeping us entertained. Can't believe this Commonwealth bullshit. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. All the way from fucking Aussie, dude. There's my boy right there, dude. Much love, man. Much love.
Emotional harm. I think someone's going to receive emotional harm if they hear speech that says, "You're a liar, I'm going to sue you." Under the statute, that's a felony in Massachusetts, not in the rest of the world, not in the rest of the country anyway, not under the Federal Bill of Rights and the First Amendment, but apparently in Massachusetts and in Norfolk County, it is.
Okay, let me turn to Mr. Cosgrove. I think you've answered my question.
Thank you.
Let me turn to Mr. Cosgrove. Mr. Cosgrove, maybe, so some of these counts, I mean, there's obviously a lot of counts.
What?
16 of them. But
The fuck is with this cameraman, bro? What was that all about? That was a
go
weird...
to count 8, which involved a member of the state police, where he's walking out of the courthouse here, and allegedly the defendant directs the attention of certain people towards him, and then they chant and they call him names. Does that rise to the level of intimidation of a witness?
I think that's probably the one closest to the line, Your Honor.
Okay.
Candidly, but if you look at the testimony and if you view the video, you'll see that he's pursued down the street. He's shouted. He's approached by people accompanying Mr. Kearney with cards that they're waving and so forth. And I certainly think he could have legitimately feared for his safety. The fact that he's a rather robust.
I almost feel bad for Cosgrove. Like I get the vibe from him that he got thrown into this shit. You know what I mean? Like Mello fucking put some fucking 2008 earbuds in his nose and was like, "You're gonna have to do this, Mr. Cosgrove." I feel like he got thrown into this somehow. I feel like I don't know if they got something on him. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But this poor fucking bastard has no case. And he's stuck here. It's like beyond his retirement and trying to fucking argue a railroad case that's obviously a railroad case. Now in front of a judge who's like, "No, man." Come on. All right. Give me the goods and I'll tell you if they're any good. And that hasn't happened yet. This is like the first time in all this time that we've had a judge that's like, "Give me the fucking goods, but make them fucking good." You know? Like, and that's all we ask.
Gentlemen, and that there are other police officers around might mitigate that fear.
Thank you, Diane.
I don't think it was totally unfounded.
Okay. Well, but some of my other questions, just, as we get into these specific indictments, as to the indictments that are at the end of the 14, 15, and 16, that talk about the conspiracy with the person who evidently worked for the police department to get license plates and puts them out there. What's your theory on how that amounts to intimidation of a witness?
A conspiracy to intimidate a witness?
Yeah.
Which is a little different, as Your Honor knows, from the actual intimidation.
Yeah.
There was testimony that this person had done this sort of thing for Mr. Kearney before, that she was familiar with his online activities, and that she knew that what was likely going to happen when she turned over this license plate was that it was going to be used to dox the witness. So I think that's the essential theory. And there was also a suggestion, as I recall it, that she herself had had some interaction with Mr. Kearney in the past in connection with a niece or something like that, and didn't want to get on his bad side. And I would suggest there was a reason that she didn't want to get on his bad side.
Okay. As to some of the counts that go into the motorcade, where it goes to different people's houses with a motorcade of followers, the actions of Mr. Kearney, are you suggesting that he's acting as an individual or that he's acting in some sort of joint venture?
Well, I think the evidence would certainly support joint venture. Essentially, there was evidence that Mr. Kearney planned this motorcade, that he broadcast what the location, the gathering point was going to be, that he showed up with a bullhorn to address the crowd, that he had his cameraman.
It sucks so bad, man, because I bet you he's a nice guy. You know what I mean? I bet you this guy's a nice guy, you know? But like oh wait, hold on. Let me pin that. Yeah, man. Make sure to support Turtle Boy. I got the link pinned to the top of the chat, folks. I feel like this guy, but it sucks because like it's like seeing a nice guy blowing farts out of his mouth when he's arguing a case that it's complete fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it upsets me. It makes me more mad at Morrissey. You know what I mean? Like this fucking poor guy's saggy old balls are in a vice somehow. I don't know how, but they are. They gotta be. No way a fucking guy like this is gonna try to prosecute such a fucking bullshit case in the United States of America. There's no fucking way. There's no way. I feel bad for him.
Man, or perhaps it was he himself with his phone to film the events for later broadcast. That these people proceeded at his direction.
There's no confidence in this dude's argument at all. None. There's no passion. Nothing.
To the various locations. Only the first location was announced in advance. So they got there by following him. And when he got there, he got out of the car, and statements varied somewhat from location to location, but harangued the occupants of.
It's like this, dude. Only a few of you guys listening are going to get what I'm talking about. Okay. When I make this analogy, only a few of you guys are going to get what I'm talking about, but it's fine. For me, it's worth it to make this analogy just for those few. You have bands like rock bands that have balls, that have fucking balls. They don't even have to be that skilled, you know, at their fucking songwriting. It doesn't have to be all complicated. It just got to have enough balls to make you go, fuck yeah. You know? And then you have like bands that are just these, you know, that are like the equivalent to like a McDonald's fucking hamburger. You know what I mean? It's just thrown together bullshit because they think it's going to sell in mass, but it's got no balls. It could be just as loud. you know, but it's got no fucking balls, right? So you've got Cosgrove, who's basically fucking Nickelback, right? And then you've got Tim Bradle, who's Caius. I'll even, just so you guys know a little bit, so it's not so obscure, Queens of the Stone Age. You know what I mean? Balls, dude. Balls. That's it. Like, there's no substance to Cosgrove's case. You know what I'm saying? There's no substance to it.
Of the House as to.
So let me ask you about count two. So count two talks about intimidation of a witness, 25 to 30 people. Mr. Kenny with a bullhorn, witness to tell the truth.
See what I mean? See what I mean? Veneer totally gets it. Federo is absolutely Motorhead. Federo is absolutely Motorhead. Like, who wins in a fight? Who wins in a fight, Federo or God? It's a trick question. Federo is God. Some of you get the reference.
How is that not free speech?
Look,
Well,
watch that again.
How is that 25? Count two talks
Watch this judge right here. This is my favorite shit in the world.
about intimidation of a witness, 25 to 30 people. Mr. Kenny with a bullhorn telling a witness to tell the truth. How is that not free speech?
Boom.
well,
You see that? Like, all right, lay it on me. How the fuck is that not free speech? I'm listening. That was my shit. I was sitting in that courtroom and I was just like, how did I get a fucking front row seat to this shit? This is amazing.
it's the one that involves what?
Ms. Name, count two.
Well, I don't want to sound like Bill Clinton. It depends on what the meaning of is. But
I mean,
in the context of Mr. Kearney saying, tell the truth, I think the witness would clearly understand that what he's instructing the witness is tell my version of the truth.
okay. All right.
In other words, don't change your testimony or don't testify.
Okay. And then, how about releasing the phone numbers to the public? In your view, does that cross the line, taking the phone number of an officer or of a private citizen and putting that out on his website? Is that something that you think is protected speech? Obviously, Mr. Bradle does, but from your point of view, does that amount to intimidation of a witness?
I think
Me and Cosgrove both fell asleep right there for a second.
there's a distinction between your ordinary, if there is such an ordinary thing as putting somebody's phone number on a website and doing it to a witness in a criminal case with the intent to intimidate that witness. And I think this also relates to a comment that Mr. Bradle made. From the defense perspective, the court is to look at this with a very limited lens. Just look at what Mr. Kearney did. Don't look at what else happened. The fact that Mr. Kearney said, throw a rock or show up for an exhibit or, and that's a hypothetical, or show up for an event, or here's the phone number, go ahead and call. Well, he's not responsible if what results from that are a ton of annoying phone calls, obscene phone calls, etc. But I would suggest that that's the intent, clearly, that the grand jury could find in posting that, and that's the practical result of what's being posted. And the intent further is to harass and intimidate the witness.
Anything that you want to say?
I can't
you
even.
said,
I
already,
can't even listen to somebody say that shit out loud without fucking laughing. That is the stupidest fucking shit ever. The intention is to intimidate and harass. No. The intention is to hold people accountable in the public eye. Simple. Like, he's not stating anything that isn't true. Colin was in the house. Jennifer McCabe made that 2:27 a.m. search. Karen Reed did not strike Boston police officer John O'Keefe with her vehicle. Nor did Boston police officer John O'Keefe get struck with a vehicle. These things are facts. It is not a crime to inquire upon them. It is not a crime to inquire about them.
Mr. Cosgrove, in support of your position. I know I started off by asking questions, but if you have anything that you want to direct my attention to,
Sure.
or you think is important, I'm happy to listen, and I'd offer Mr. Brado the same opportunity. I've read everything that both of
Thank
you have submitted.
I-
Well, let me start with Mr. Cosgrove, and I'll give you Mr. Chairman.
I'd just say a couple of things. First, I heard Mr. Bradle say there was no evidence of this and there was no evidence of that. And with due respect to my brother, I think he's making a layman's mistake in his characterization of evidence. When a witness testifies that I was watching.
Now it looks like, due to my commentary and pausing, we won't have time to actually go over Karen Reed's hearing this time, but I will do a live stream at some point tomorrow to go over Karen Reed's hearing on Wednesday. So I know I said I was going to do that, but we won't have time.
A YouTube presentation, and I heard Mr. Kearney urge people to order pizzas and not pay for them. That's evidence. Now, grand jurors can believe it or
He looks so confident. Carney and pizzas and that's evidence. It's evidence. It's evidence. This dude is killing me right now, bro.
disbelieve it. Defendant can contest it in court if that same evidence is offered in court. But the fact is, it's evidence of what happened.
No, it's
so I
not.
don't think the statement that there is no evidence is accurate. I think in a broader sense, Your Honor, the difference.
I don't think this guy's trying to sell evidence as being beyond a reasonable doubt. And he says, I don't think. I don't think that it's not evidence. Dude, like, this poor guy is screaming because his fucking balls are hanging in a vice that is attached to the floor. This poor man. That's what's happening right now. He's just not literally screaming, but it's what's happening right now. This is what you're hearing right now.
It's between Mr. Bradle's position on behalf of Mr. Kearney in the Commonwealth is that when you ask, where is the line?
Yeah.
Mr. Bradle's position is essentially there's no line. The Commonwealth's position is that whatever might be the case, there's two lines of cases. There's the line that Mr. Bradle is relying on here. And he suggests that to be consistent with those cases, which talk about imminent harm and which talk about threats being made to the person's face and threats of bodily injury and so forth, that this statute must be unconstitutional.
Now,
and
let's just pause this for a second, because I should have led in with this one fact. So I don't have the date handy right now, but Turtle Boy's defense team filed a motion to dismiss weeks ago. I don't have a date handy, but weeks ago. But a date is set to argue it, and there's been no opposition motion. And I have to credit Nan Gallagher for pointing this out. She was like, has there been an opposition motion filed? And I was like, excellent question. Why the fuck isn't anybody talking about the fact that there's no opposition motion filed? And then, amazingly, the day of, there's an opposition motion filed, and it's ridiculous. And I'm not even going to go over it. But that had to resonate with this judge. I can't imagine a judge that wouldn't resonate with, especially if he is the way that this judge led into this entire hearing, saying, okay, listen, I've got a plan here for how this hearing is going to go. I have read everything. I am up to speed. You don't think that? Do you think that the fact that this man filed an opposition motion at the very last minute, almost literally the very last minute, that didn't somehow send a message to this judge about how seriously this asshole has taken this case?
is to be construed consistent with these civil cases that he cites. And both of the cases that he mentioned are civil cases. The Commonwealth's position is that whatever the position towards the general public, and I alluded to that earlier, the courts have said that restrictions are possible when there are reasonable limitations as to time, place, and means. And we see that in a number of ways in cases that have been approved by the courts. Cases that have recently had an approval of Judge Cannoni's order with respect to picketing in the Karen Reed case. That wasn't held as an unconstitutional violation. We have decisions in 209A orders where judges order, and I'd cite the court to the case that I didn't mention in my brief, Commonwealth versus Butler.
I don't know who that guy by the chalkboard is. He walked in and out a couple of times with a dude who kind of looked like him. I thought they were brothers, but they're obviously attorneys of some sort, because there were no seats, so they were able to still enter the courtroom and observe, like standing up for whatever reason. So but I don't know who they are.
What happened in that case, I think it's fairly well known. Your Honor may be familiar with it. Young woman on the day of her birthday went to her door and found some flowers that were anonymously delivered. I think we'd agree that if you send somebody some flowers on her birthday, that communicates typically a message. Hopefully the message it communicates is happy birthday. Unfortunately for Mr. Butler, about 3 months earlier, the court had entered a 209A order, no contact directly or indirectly. They traced the flowers back to Mr. Butler, was prosecuted, found guilty. The conviction was upheld.
Jesus
That
Christ.
sort of thing
man.
happens on 209A orders all the time, which ostensibly you could look at on their face and say, oh, this infringes on my right of association. This infringes on my right to travel. This infringes on my right to make witty satirical statements. Nevertheless,
But Mr. Tierney is a satirist. I mean, in essence, a lot of this is satire.
well, I don't mean to be flip, but so what?
Okay. No, I mean, that's fine.
I don't think there's a special rule for satirists if the so-called satire is made with intent to intimidate.
Witness. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I see your argument.
I'll stop at this point.
That's fine. I'll give Mr. Boyd, I'll give you just a minute. You've made your argument pretty well, but anything else you want to say?
There are some things, Your Honor. I just invite your attention to pages 9 and 10 of my brief, Judge, where the standard of how this speech is supposed to be judged is set forth. And just a couple of quotes. Speech on matters of public concern is at the heart of the First Amendment's protection. Speech concerning public affairs is more than self-expression. It is the essence of self-government. Speech on public issues occupies the highest rung of the hierarchy of First Amendment values and is entitled to special protection. The Commonwealth is arguing the other way around. Give us the benefit of the doubt, Judge Doolin. Hey, evidence can be construed in different ways. Evidence needs to be linked to a particular person committing a crime. That's what they're lacking here, Judge. And this Janelle Webb conspiracy to run a license plate business, Your Honor, the Commonwealth indicted Ms. Webb and then for some reason, and I think I know the reason, thought better of bringing the case to court and never arraigned her, never charged her, never did anything with that indictment.
Right.
Which I've never seen in my time. And I think what happened there was that the government, the state police probably realized that.
Thank you,
They
Bujeezuz.
run these plates on the sly all
Great
the time
point.
for boyfriends, girlfriends, et cetera, et cetera. And they don't want in the system a precedent where a police affiliated person, quote unquote, runs a plate and then gets indicted for a felony. And I think that's why that never saw the light of day. So there never was any conspiracy charge lodged against Ms. Webb. It's past the year presumptive speedy trial. So that case is effectively dead, Your Honor. That's an important fact the court ought to know. And also, it's not a crime to run a plate. So there was no criminal object of the conspiracy to run a plate. They just want to change, they want to erase the word conspiracy to run a plate. And let's put something in there, even though there's no evidence of it, let's put something in there that'll fly, like conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. There's no evidence whatsoever that 13B was implicated in any running of a plate. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It couldn't be more newsworthy. The district attorney had just gone on television with a remarkable statement vouching for witnesses in his case, that they were fine, they were on the up and up, and leave them alone.
That, but in terms
Yeah,
of, so
yeah.
you're
Now, I could see the judge from where I was sitting because I was on the other side, like off the camera, like over there. But I could see the judge, and he was really trying to avoid, like, it seemed like he was like, okay, I'm down to listen to this, but I gotta really, really, really make these fuckers toe the line when it comes to bringing in the Karen Reed conspiracy shit. I want to stick to the Turtle Boy stuff and keep it about the Turtle Boy stuff, but it's relevant. It's relevant, but I don't blame the judge for being like, yo, keep it cool. Like he just became Joe Pesci in fucking Casino, where he's like, "Don't fuck up in here." Relax.
On the indictments 14, 15, and 16, your argument is that there's insufficient evidence for those to actually be a crime.
There's no criminal object. And even in the grand jury, Sergeant Tully admits, and he says it's not a crime, it's an administrative violation. He says words to that effect. You'll see it. And he does refer to that, and it's not a crime. That's why they couldn't say conspiracy to run a plate, against the rules, because it's not a crime. That's why they switch it to conspiracy to intimidate a witness. It's not intimidating to prove the exact opposite of what the district attorney said publicly, that these witnesses are affiliating with the state police and do know the state police and are visiting them at their home. So it couldn't be more newsworthy, Your Honor. And that's what was behind running the plate. It was not to intimidate anybody, but to shine the light of day on corruption. Okay. So that's that. And Judge, another thing about, this First Amendment issue, and, whether it's a jury question or a judge question, this is a judge question. You're not the first trial judge that, even in my practice, that has dealt with this. And I put this in my materials. You have Judge Walsh and Stoughton.
Yeah, there was Judge, two judges, right?
Right, and so Judge Walsh actually did two things, Your Honor. He did Mr. Schiffer, who's here in the courtroom today, and I appreciate it. My other client, Mr. Schiffer, is the guy that put rubber ducks all around Canton with political statements about the Reed case. And remarkably, the Canton Police Department did a 37-page investigation that was, if they applied that much work to the Reed case, those folks wouldn't even be here anymore either. But they did a 37-page investigation into Mr. Schiffer putting rubber ducks all around Canton.
And Mr. Schiffer's right here.
And you'll see it in there. Denied on First Amendment grounds. It's not witness intimidation. Denied on, and arguably.
But there's a difference between that and saying we're going to make the work miserable, isn't there?
Well, Judge, that's O'Brien v. Borowski. That's foreclosed by O'Brien. Fear of being sued, fear of being yelled at, fear of being embarrassed doesn't cut it. If I just could have one moment.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Yeah, dude. Like, Bradle is owning that courtroom right now.
So Judge, with respect to these rubber ducks, it's the exact same kind of thing that Mr. Carney's accused of doing, and it's thrown out on First Amendment grounds. It's Colin did it. It's, statements about the case. It's the same kind of thing. And, they went after him. And that's what happens when these kinds of bad statutes get used for ulterior motives by self-interested police and prosecutors.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful argument on both parts.
Thank you.
Both groups were very good as well.
Thank you.
I'll take it under advisement, and I'll have something for you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Next scene, please.
Oh, yeah.
What's your obsession?
Let me just, can I talk to the lawyers at side for a minute?
This fucking sucks.
Maybe over here.
Sucks so bad.
Yes. Your Honor.
Like, and this is Bettero like all the time. Watch him right here. Watch this. Just watch Bettero.
Mr. Costco, the floor is yours.
Yes. Your Honor.
That right there spoke volumes. What that is this ain't shit to worry about, bro. Relax. It's all good.
I can just have a moment. This morning I was informed that there was an incident last night. Apparently the defendant and a friend were at C.F. McCarthy's, which is a bar in Canton. It's next door to D&E Pizza, which is owned by one of the witnesses in this case, and his son, who is also a witness in this case, and I should say they're witnesses in the Karen Reed case, works there, and they are both victims listed within the indictments that are before your honor.
Alleged, asshole.
At the end of the evening, the son closed up at D&E Pizza and went home. There is a video camera, possibly more than one, but one in particular in the window of D&E Pizza. And what it recorded was that Mr. Kearney left C.F. McCarthy's next door and in the company of a friend or shortly joined by a friend, walked up, either noticed or had previously noticed the video camera, and walked up to the window quite close, pressed his face up against the window almost, and then stepped back for a moment or two. Spent a couple of minutes just staring.
He's acting like he's describing this like it's like he has to know how ridiculous he sounds right now. He's describing this like there was a caper, bro. Like a caper happened. like some shit really went down, you know? It's so funny. Like there's fucking taxpayer dollars going into this guy standing right there talking to a fucking judge describing this right now. All right. We got a little time. I got to start this over. Hold on. Let's hear him argue this. This is beautiful.
Possibly more than one, but one in particular in the window of D&E Pizza. And what it recorded was that Mr. Kearney left C.F. McCarthy's next door.
No idea.
And in the company of a friend or shortly joined by a friend, walked up, either noticed or had previously noticed the video camera, and walked up to the window quite close, pressed his face up against the window almost, and then stepped back for a moment or two. Spent a couple of minutes just staring there, and then went into a 2-minute diatribe. Saying hello to the witness.
Yeah. Cosgrove, keep a straight face, buddy.
What have you done? I wish he was alive today. Why did you do that, Chris? He's talking to Chris Albert, the witness. I just want to know. And he goes on to say, and I have to paraphrase from here, Your Honor, because I didn't get it all down in the brief time.
Oh, so you wrote it down. Oh, okay. But what happened? You fell asleep while you were taking notes? While you were writing down hearsay? Is that what happened? What, did you doze off? Oh, I don't know. Could you repeat that, Mr. Albert? I didn't catch all of that, please. All right.
I viewed it. But I know you didn't do it. Colin did it. And then he goes on essentially to ask why he is covering up for his son, assures him that he's not trying to frighten him. He just wants to know.
I haven't heard what is yet. Not that it fucking matters, but I haven't heard what is yet. What is what? What is it? to quote the fabulous Faith No More. What is it? Oh, wrong thing. Hold on.
Just wants to know. Just wants to know. Now, at that point, he walked and went away, leaving Mr. Albert to find that the next morning when he reviewed his video. Now, we can talk about how many legal angels dance on the head of a pin here, Your Honor. I think I could do Mr. Bradle's argument for him. It's just speech. Nothing's meant by it.
Oh, great strategy there, dude. I'm gonna get in front of him and I'm gonna say, it's just speech. That's because it is just speech, you dumb shit.
It's protected.
It is protected.
I doubt I've saved him the trouble, but I've tried. At this point, I don't think it's an issue whether technically it meets the standards of intimidating witness. I think certainly the attempt, at least in the colloquial sense, was to harass and intimidate. And we always talk about these in isolation, Your Honor, but there is a drumbeat every week of verbal attack after verbal attack on the witnesses and the officers in this case. So at this point, I am going to
there is a drumbeat every week of free speech, criticism, which brings out hurt feelings, Your Honor. Hurt feelings, Your Honor. Like, he knows that if he says that, the judge is going to go, what the fuck? Like, he's smart enough of a lawyer to avoid the words hurt feelings, because he knows goddamn well that's what he's saying. He's just not using those words. Drumbeat every week of an award-winning independent journalist hurting someone's feelings.
to ask the court to set bail on Mr. Kearney. He's been released on his personal recognizance. And I am also going to ask the court to set conditions. And those conditions will be no contact, direct or indirect, or through third parties. And I mean no contact in the broadest possible way with any of the witnesses or officers testified for the Commonwealth in the Reed case or any of the alleged victims in this case. And I am going to ask that Mr. Kearney, as a condition of his release, be prohibited from approaching anywhere within 100 yards of the victim's residence or within 100 yards of a victim's place of work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge. Judge, this is not how incursions of someone's liberty are done in Superior Court or in any court that I know of in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I don't have a shred of paper. I don't have a shred of documentation. I don't have anything on this issue.
You want to continue? I'll give you one.
Yes,
I mean,
certainly.
look at it.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
want to come back tomorrow?
I don't think I can come back tomorrow, Your Honor, but the government should be sent out to go get their ducks in a row, no pun intended. And
Maybe we
Then
could
if
borrow
they have-
Mr. Kearney's.
if they have an issue, then they should come back for it. But you don't say, hey, I heard this thing happened and
Why
I
don't
want
I
to.
do this? Why don't I do
Right,
this? I'll
like,
give
what
you
the fuck?
24 hours, Mr. Breda. We will absolutely have a right to review the video, and we have a right to see any reports that were written. I'll see you both back here at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
All right. Let's see. We got a little bit more time. Let's see something real quick. I just want to check something real quick. Hold on. I haven't seen this yet. Flipperhead just sent this to me. I already regret playing this, but whatever. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yo, your advantage boys. I will beat all your asses. That I was gonna beat them up.
Actually, you didn't say beat them up. You said, I'm going to beat your ass, didn't you?
Yes. I promise you, I will fuck you all up.
What did you mean by, I'm going to fuck you up?
Pull up, bitch.
Bang, bang, the bang, bang. Pull up, the bang, bang, the bang, bang. Pull up.
Yes.
To ball up your fists and beat the shit out of them.
Objection.
Can you answer that? Will you answer that, please?
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Probably shouldn't.
You're a bitch, bro.
You indicated you're a bitch, bro.
Can't, dude.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, you pussy.
Yeah.
In the second video, you said, fuck
I
you
hate you, Joe
a
Flipperhead.
number of times.
Yeah.
You old man with a fucked up face.
Yeah.
Fucking hate you, Joe Flipperhead.
KO. Bang, bang.
And then you said, KO, bang, bang. Right?
Correct.
What's KO mean?
Knockout.
And what does bang, bang mean? The bang, bang threat made. Before or after the Advantage Boys? I'll call
Oh
this
my
bang,
god.
bang. Seriously?
Come
I will fuck you up.
Come on
I
with
will
this
beat
shit.
your ass. I will fuck you up.
Come on with this shit.
Pull up, bitch. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Oh
I
my
will
god.
fuck you up.
Objection.
Too much. All right. He said more. I'm already fucking soaking wet, so I might as well just fucking jump back in the river, dude. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see what we got here. I hate you, bro. I fucking hate you, dude. All right, this one's short.
I would dial the numbers just to listen to your breath, and I would stand inside my hell and hold the Don't know how far I'd go to use this precious leak, and you don't know how much I think, how much I can take just to reach you, just to reach
fucking
you.
hate you.
To reach you. Come to my window.
Holy shit. Hold on.
Wait by the light of the moon. Come to my.
Hold on. Why is there no picture? That's really weird. Can you guys really not see that? Oh my god, this is the funniest shit in the world. I haven't seen this shit yet. I have not seen any of this shit yet. I remember it, but kind of. I haven't seen it yet. You guys really can't see this? Hold on. Let me do this again. Hold on a second. See if I could pull this up. Because I'd hate to I'm gonna get dinged for the music, but it's kind of worth it. Hold on.
You don't know how far I'd go to use this precious leak.
Can you guys see it now? Hold on. I've got it. There we go. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. I think it's the music. I think StreamYard blocks the music. So I have to keep the music off. That's what I'm going to do so that it doesn't. That's what I think it is. But the music is so it's worth the ding. It's worth the ding. Oh my fucking god, dude. Like, if that is not obviously innocent, I don't know what the fuck is. Okay? I'm not going to speak for anyone else who was there, but I will speak for myself. Okay? I will not speak for anyone else who was there. Nobody else. I cannot. All right? I will only speak for myself. And I want to say from the bottom of my scrotum, fuck the Alberts. If I seriously, I gotta say that I was clearly in the mode of just trying to make someone laugh. That's it. This was a security camera video. I had no intention of this going out there. I had no intention of that whatsoever. The Alberts put this out there. It is all them. It is all them. This would have never seen the light of day unless they were whiny cunts. Fuck the Alberts. I don't know how else to put that. Fuck the Alberts. Seriously, you guys are fucking twats. This would have never seen the light of day. Like, that's it. That's all I have to say about that for the moment. Beyond that, time will tell. But at the moment, I mean, video evidence is video evidence. And all I'll say about it is fuck the Alberts for being whiny, bitchy twats. Hopefully it won't get cut off, but I'll play it with the music.
Wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window. I'll be home soon. I would dial the numbers just to listen to your breath, and I would stand inside my hell and hold the hand of death. You don't know how far I'd go to use this precious leak, and you don't know how much I feel, or how much I can take just to reach you, just to reach you, oh, to reach you. Come to my window, come on inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon.
Okay. Joe Flipperhead, everybody. You got to love him. All right, people, I'm going to wrap this up. Listen, Turtle Boy's about to go live in a minute. Whatever you do, do not type in Glare-a-raid in his chat. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, obviously there are consequences if that happens. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. I want it on the record. Anyway, listen. I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes before I log off real quick to say that I had the best time in Norfolk County, the best time in Boston, the best time. And I had no ill will towards anyone at all. There wasn't one person who I felt any ill will towards while I was there. That is a fact. And I had the best time, and everyone was so hospitable and so kind. And I have to give a big shout out really to Nan Gallagher, because she was just, here's the thing about Nan, dude. Y'all got to understand. Okay. Nan has absolutely no ulterior motives whatsoever. None at all. She is just a kind person. He's either in lawyer mode. This is the impression I got from her in spending as much time with her this week as I got to, that I was lucky enough to. She's either in lawyer mode or she's in mom mode. Like, if I was riding along with her to go someplace, when she has to brake suddenly, which is never that bad, she does the, when she has to stop short, she does the, and it's not a move. It's just, she's a kind, caring person. She is incredibly generous and kind. And I got to tell you guys, the people that I got to hang out with this week as a whole was just like all just amazing, good people. And Nan was just almost the nucleus of it. And I got to tell you guys, I'm only saying this because there's, it's a big community, you know what I mean? And there's people of all shapes and sizes in here. But I'm talking to a certain shape and size only. And I don't know anybody specifically. I'm just saying generally. If I find out that anyone tried to deliberately take advantage of Nan's kindness and generosity, and I get proof of it by being fraudulent or shitty in any way, if anybody tries to take advantage and shows anything beyond simple gratitude for what she's done for Karen Reed, for what she's done for Aiden, and what she's done for this community, and supported the creators the way that she has, anybody who sees that as an opportunity to take advantage, and I find out about it, I am going to verbally destroy you. I want that to be very much known, because I have never met someone who was this kind with absolutely no ulterior motives whatsoever, other than I have what I have and I want to do what I can do, because this isn't right. So talk shit all you want. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm saying somebody tries to fucking take advantage of that, I am going to verbally fuck you up. Period. And that goes for anybody. Anybody that I see who is kind, like I have no patience for that shit. I just simply don't. So on that note, like I said, whatever you do, do not go into Turtle Boy's chat and type in Glare Raid. Okay? Do not do that. But I am dying to hear what Turtle Boy has to say tonight. Anyways, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for all the likes. Please make sure to hit the like on the way out. If you're a new subscriber, I really hope you're enjoying the channel. We've got a lot more fun shit to go over. I haven't gone over. I still don't know. I'm keeping myself in the dark. I'm not even paying attention to what the fuck even happened Wednesday. Had dinner with Bettero, and I was like, don't tell me, even though he wasn't there, but he was catching up before we met for dinner. But I was like, don't tell me. Told Nan, don't tell me, because I want to react, because I heard that Alan Jackson fucking wiped the floor with Brennan. So I want to see that shit and I want to react to it. But guys, thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys so much. You guys are absolutely amazing. I really can't wait to hang out with you guys again. I am dying to go back to Boston already. I feel it was bittersweet to leave. So, but guys, you're amazing. You're fantastic. I love you. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.